Alright guys, how you doing? And welcome to this recording of me talking about games. This is completely unscripted. As you can see, I've got a bunch of games behind me I want to share with you today. And yeah, explain some history about each one. But I just thought I would do something different, as opposed to streaming live on Twitch. Twitch.com/gamesofjohnny underscore, I guess. Yeah, I think this will be pretty cool. So, I guess let's just get started with um I guess a game that led me to do this video in the first place. And the likes of Duke Nukem 3D. This is the Macintosh version. Um, Discovered this game in primary school, I believe, 1996. Was in a school classroom. One of my friends at the time, he installed like the shareware version. Um, and I immediately fell in love with it. I grew up with a Macintosh, so at the time we had like a 68K Mac, and yeah, installed the demo in there. It ran really slowly, and I just had to own the Mac version of this, I guess. But like over the years, I continued to play the PC version at friends' houses and stuff. But yeah, this is the box. Nice and embossed. Of course, yeah, developed by 3D Realms, published by Macsoft. Um, the Mac version isn't terribly different than the PC one. I mean, it did have higher resolution support at the time, opposed to the DOS version. I also have the PC version here of the Atomic Edition. This is just the jewel case. Pretty cool though. I got an ad for Death Rally there as well. But yeah, really, really cool game. The difference between the original release of this game, the Atomic Edition, is just like Ultimate Doom, you get like a fourth episode. So this episode is the birth in the Atomic Edition. Duke Nukem also got expansions as well. So you got Duke It Out in DC authorized edition. It includes like it's basically a map pack with a bunch of new levels. I believe it's like 7 or 8. But yeah, here's the box here. This is probably one of my favorite expansions. Then again, people's um people's favorite is probably Duke Caribbean Life's a Beach. This is typically a total conversion, developed by Sunstorm Interactive. As you can see, you can tell by the graphics that the weapons are different and everything, and the sprites and environments completely flipped, complete overhaul. The other expansion pack is Duke Nuclear Winter. Again, authorized edition, requires Duke Nukem 3D to play, and published by WizardWorks, or was that? Oh no, sorry, published by GT Interactive, developed by WizardWorks. I guess there's a kind of Christmassy expansion. It's a total conversion in terms of the environments, but not so much like the gameplay itself. It's a very it could have been better. It's definitely an oddity for sure, but it is nice to own the box. They look nice together. The expansions at least. And yeah, all three games. Um I'll just chuck these back on the shelf and go rapid fire into the next few build engine games I've got here. And probably one of my favorite build engine games is Shadow Warrior. This is like the first purchase I personally made with my own money. Like my first ever online order was the Mac version of Shadow Warrior from the creators of Duke Nukem 3D. 3D Realms, amazing game. And in terms of the build engine technology, this came out in 1997. This is probably the best looking build engine game. Environments are rich, detail, weapons, just everything, and you know, the tongue-in-cheek humor of Lo Wang is just perfect, really. So yeah, definitely worth checking out Shadow Warrior. I'll just put Duke It Out in DC back. And Shadow Warrior. Next up, we've got Blood. Developed by Monolith Productions. Published by GT Interactive, 1997. This is everyone's favorite build engine game. For reasons of it being extremely complex, like even more than Shadow Warrior. It pushed the build engine to its limits back in the day, like secondary fire for the weapons. Not that Shadow Warrior had that as well, but it's like pushed the environments and lighting. You play as a dude called Caleb. He's like a gunslinger, and you get abducted by the occult and you wake up in a grave and you gotta fight your way through the hordes of evil, I guess. But, you know, this box is amazing, embossed. I remember seeing this, like, just like Shadow Warrior. I saw this in the shelf in a warehouse, like back in 1997. I was like, what the heck is this game? It looks so insane. But with Shadow Warrior, I keep seeing this in like a catalog and stuff. The same with Duke Nukem 3D, and I've always like wanted to own these games. Like yeah, insane. And it's always been a good dream. Always been a dream. Alright, what have we got next? We got Dark Forces from 1995. Forgotten to mention, Blood also got an expansion called Cryptic Passage, developed by Sunstorm Interactive, published by WizardWorks. Very awesome expansion. 10 new levels. And death match, as you can see. For bloodbath levels. I think, yeah, blood deathmatch is called bloodbath. So this is like the DOS version. Again, it's easy to run like Blood and Duke on a source port, and Shadow Warrior with E-Duke, but there's also like Shadow Warrior Classic Redux Edition. Same with Duke Nukem Nuclear Winter and Life's a Beach. They're also part of like a pack. Again, nicely embossed box. Yeah, highly recommend this expansion pack. It is absolutely amazing. Alright, let's see here. Put this back on the shelf. And put Duke back up here. Dark Forces 1995. Developed by LucasArts, as you can see in the corner there. Is a Star Wars first-person shooter using the Force engine. This uses its own engine, a lot like Doom, but in the Star Wars universe. This recently got a remastered. They did the graphics. They redid the graphics and the music and the sound. Art style is a lot like those old point and click games, I guess, but established into a first person perspective. Big fan. Played the demo to bits back in the day. Well, not necessarily when it came out. I sort of like discovered it on like a demo disc, I guess. I think it was like the LucasArts collection or something. But yeah, the other games are like Full Throttle and like other things. This is the Enhanced Mac Edition. It supports 640 by 480 resolution as opposed to 320 by 200 res that the DOS release originally came with or like supported. And yeah, it's really was the definitive way to play back in 1995. But now that Dark Forces Remastered is out, thanks to Night Dive Studios, we can you can enjoy it in 4K or whatever modern resolutions people are into. Alright. Next. We got a couple of goodies here. Couple of Mac exclusive games that use Bungie's Marathon engine. So if you don't know about Marathon, here's a brief history. They were games they were a trilogy. Marathon 1 came out in 1993. Marathon 2, I think, was 1996. And Marathon Infinity 1997. They're first-person sci-fi shooters that were Mac exclusive. And, funnily enough, they got games based off the Marathon engine. And this one is called Prime Target from 1996. Well, just Prime Target came out in 1996. Action-packed 3D mystery. Probably one of, if not the best, Marathon engine games. Basically, the senator of the White House has been murdered, and there's suspicious activity like guard patrols in the building, and you gotta go in and wipe everything out. It is a brutal first-person shooter. Absolutely deserves some type of remaster. again, the box is nice and embossed. Yeah, there's a bunch of weapons, cool enemy sprites, and animations. Also featured a network mode. But yeah, this box is really hard to come by. Not terribly expensive when it comes up online, but yeah, definitely worth checking out. You can emulate this game through a Mac emulator, so that's nice. Next game that uses also Bungie's Marathon engine is Damage Incorporated. Commander Squad of Marines in 3D. This came out in 1997, I think, is a year after Prime Target, I was about to say as well. But yeah, 1996, 1997. I don't really see a date on here, but yeah, this one's really cool. Again, nice and embossed box art. Yeah, you can control a bunch of Marines. Marines are with you for like the majority of the mission slash the game. This game I've streamed a couple of times. Same with Prime Target as well. This is probably the longest of like the Marathon engine games. And it's not easy as you get like later into the missions and stuff. You can play this as a solo Marine, like just as a run and gun shooter, but it's kind of fun. At the same time, to use like strategy, you can select like I guess team formations and stuff. So yeah, both these games, Prime Target, Damage Incorporated, are pretty awesome. Alright, I'm probably just gonna move along the shelf, so next game is Killing Time. I have some history with this game. So, back in the early to mid 2000s, I want to say 2003, 2004, somewhere there, we had a Macintosh store. And I remember buying Jazz Jackrabbit 2 for the Mac. Well, behind me I've got the PC version here. But anyhow, the Jazz Jackrabbit 2 for the Mac on the CD came with a demo of this game. And that was my first like I guess introduction to this. It is a horror first-person shooter. Originally came out on the 3DO back in like 1995. But yeah, this version's 1996 by the looks of it. Developed by Logicware. Yeah, it's a first-person horror, puzzle, explorative, shooter based on an island, where you have to stop a lady, I guess with you gotta destroy a water clock, basically, and stop time before she, like, destroys, destroys, like, humanity or something, because she's unleashed, like, all these demons and stuff. As you can see on the back, there's, like, FMV sequences, evil clowns, there's like gangsters, skeletons, Cerebuses and hunters and stuff. Again, Night Dive is coming out with Killing Time Resurrected. That's pretty much gonna bring it back on its feet. I never played the original 3DO release of this game, so it's gonna be interesting if they throw the original version in the mix, because the 3DO and the PC release of this game is they're very different. They're very far apart from each other. Again, box nice and embossed, shiny. This game is kind of expensive. There is a Mac version, but it's extremely rare, especially again in box. I've seen a couple of listings online for it, the Mac version, but very few and far between. Also, the music of this game, fantastic. Yeah, played the demo to death from the Jazz Jack Rabbit CD that I mentioned for the Mac. Was such a big fan of it. It was abandonware at the time, but I downloaded the Mac release and burned it to CD. And I remember making a screenshot, a cheats, and a walkthrough folder. I think I still have that CD, but I sort of like made like a ghetto bootleg CD until I owned the actual box copy here. But yeah. I did the same with Prime Target as well. I made like a kind of custom CD, I guess. Next game. Strife. Developed by Velocity, I guess. Trust no one. This uses the Doom engine. This is sort of Doom's take on an RPG, as you can see. It says right there, RPG adventure with Doom style action. So yeah, it is essentially Doom, with character dialogue and story. It is a very interesting game. This box comes with a map. Surprisingly, I brought this locally, I guess, in New Zealand for cheap. This box don't come cheap, generally. But yeah, as you can see, I guess published by Rogue. I don't know if you can see that. That's their logo. It is a kind of a underrated company, honestly, but yeah, cool game. Highly recommend it. Different weapons, NPC dialogue. It has like a whole stealth system as well, like the Doom fists are back. But you can use them as stealth. You get like crossbows and machine guns, and there's like crazy mechs and everything, and it has this awesome sort of cult story, I guess. So that's cool to have. Moving right along from the shooters, I guess. Carmageddon. This is the first game. High Octane. A14 track, 25 driver destruction derby. Developed by SCI, Stainless Interactive. Published by Interplay. This is a vehicular destruction derby, ultra violent pedestrian splatterfest. I guess there are two ways to win each race: mow over all the pedestrians, or destroy like all the vehicles, and then you can unlock new cars and stuff, bunch of different tracks. I prefer this first game over the second. The second was kind of a visual upgrade and sort of added a whole lot of new features, but I prefer this version because it uses like photo digitized graphics for like the environments and the pedestrians, as you can see there. But yeah, it's a good time. You get points for running over pedestrians. You can see a granny there. See some chick in a bikini. But yeah, as for Carmageddon 2, they went the more like 3D route because like 3D was a big deal at the time, so I guess they had to like keep up with the technology, I guess. But yeah, good game. Carmageddon is the PC release. Also got a Mac release. But they're definitively the same game. Yeah. And that's about it. Yeah. Good music as well. And moving on with the shooters. We have Doom 2. I only own the Doom 2 box. But yeah, I played Doom 2 back in the day at like my friend's place. And at my grandparents' house. I was blown away. This game is a classic. Of course, there's a second one. Essentially the same game. I thought the second game was like a visual upgrade from the first one, but it's essentially just an expansion that introduces like one new weapon, the super shotgun, and like three new enemy types, or four. Revenant, Archvile, Pain Elemental, and the Hell Knight. Yeah, the Hell Knight. Because at the end of Doom 1, Episode 1, Need Deep in the Dead, you had the Barons of Hell, like the two Bruiser brothers, they were originally gonna be called. But yeah, this is the Mac release. Again, like Dark Forces. This supported a higher resolution, 640 by 480. So it looked really, really crisp. Back on the Macintosh, and boasted higher resolutions than the DOS port until Doom 95 came along, and it was definitively the Mac version, the Windows version of the Mac release. Yeah, but again, unfortunately, I don't own a box copy of like Ultimate Doom, which essentially came with like 4 episodes. But yeah, Thy Flesh Consumed, Knee Deep in the Dead, Shores of Hell, and Thy Flesh Consumed. Next game, part of the line, Heretic, Shadow of the Serpent Riders, also uses the Doom engine. Comes with 5 episodes. The Serpent Riders edition. This is essentially medieval Doom with an inventory, much like Strife, but this is more of a medieval arcade shooter. Pretty fun. Again, played this back in the day. I played like a shareware version on like my granny's PC or my nana's PC. Loved it. First level is iconic. You like start on the docks, and it's a nice tutorial to get you into the game. But yeah, I have streamed this one as well. This game does get harder in later episodes. So, I guess in terms of mazes, very mazy game. But yeah, no, it's a fun game. There's like, you shoot like imps and golems. Excuse me, and there's bosses as well. It's kind of crazy. This box is pretty cool. It's in like the form of a book. You can kind of see like the latch there. But yeah, very cool shooter. And the follow-up was Hexen Beyond Heretic. I actually played this before Heretic. Back in 1996 in a primary school classroom. Value Software. But yeah, this is a follow-up to Heretic. And this is more of like a puzzly version of Heretic. Very cryptic in parts, very maze-like, but extremely detailed. Developed by Raven Software, published by id, uses the Doom engine. You can pick between 3 classes of a mage, a cleric, and a fighter. The fighter used to be my favorite, or is my favorite. The mage is what I first saw with this game. Like, I used to really like the mage and like his aesthetic and stuff. The cleric is like the weakest, but he's like the strongest. So don't be fooled. People were like probably thrown off by the cleric back in the day because he was like the weakest. But yeah, he gets the strongest weapons later on. You can see there's different spells. This probably has like the, I guess, the lesser arsenals of like all the Doom Engine games, but it makes up for it with the visuals and level design. So yeah, Hexen Beyond Heretic also came out on Mac. Comes with a poster inside the box as well, so it's pretty cool. Moving right along, we have Sin from 1998, developed by Ritual Entertainment, published by Activision. Uses the Quake 2 engine. You play as a guy called John Blade, and you shoot stuff. You gotta storm the city of Syntech and try and stop this evil villain lady called Alexis St. Clair. She holds a virus called U4. And yeah, you gotta stop all the mutations in the city. And really cool game. There is supposedly a Sin Reloaded Night Dive remaster in the works, but haven't really heard much news from it. Excuse me, my nose. But yeah, this game deserves to be dug back up. It sort of got stomped by Half-Life at the time. This came out like literally months after Half-Life, and it just got completely swept under the rug. So definitely an underrated classic using the Quake 2 engine. Also has a multiplayer mode, which I haven't tried, but yeah, very cool. Can get a little trolly and cryptic. It's one of those It's one of those normal difficulty syndrome games of the 90s, where normal difficulty is like brutally difficult for no reason, and like sometimes if you put it on easy, it's like too easy. So like difficulty balancing was a little bit of a I guess a gray area up to a point. It's the same with like console games at the time as well. They had trouble balancing the difficulty. Anyway, next game we have with the this is also the Quake 2 engine. Sorry, I hesitated there for a second. Heretic 2, Wicked 3D action fantasy. I feel like this is the most detailed Quake 2 engine game using that technology. It is Heretic. We're still playing as Corvus, and it is a third-person shooter with spells, puzzles, and quite a deep story, and with massive environments. I highly recommend this one. I feel like when this first came out, people didn't really appreciate it because, you know, you hear Heretic and you think first person shooter, but the fact that they went third person was a very bold move. When I first played this, I believe it was like back in, I want to say 2003 through to 2005, I discovered this game. I didn't like it because, probably because of the Quake 2 engine. I always found the Quake 2 engine quite strange, but definitively Quake 2 is my favorite Quake game, and I've come to appreciate the engine and what games have been released under it. Basically. But yeah. Fun game. Yeah, highly recommend it. May take a couple of like tries for you to get into, but it's a good time. It's a good time. Give it a go. Give it a try. Alright, and harkening back to the Marathon engine, next game here, developed by Zombie, using the Marathon engine, published by GT Interactive as ZPC, aka Zero Population Count. This is an insanely visualized FPS. Yeah, it is bizarre. It is bizarre. The level design, the graphics, the cutscenes, but it's underrated. It's buggy. Also came out for the Mac, but it's hard to recommend, I guess, because of how strange it is. But yeah, different weapons, traps, a lot of switch hunting, very original and industrial soundtrack. Apparently the industrial band is pretty like infamous, ripping soundtrack from renowned artists Roland Barker, Revolting Cocks, and Paul Barker Ministry. So yeah, it is quite a unique game that I feel people knew about, and only really played the demo and maybe got turned off by the visuals or something. But yeah, it is worth checking out. If it wasn't so buggy, probably one of the lesser known Marathon Engine games, aside from Prime Target and Damage Incorporated. All those games need a revamp. So yeah, ZPC. Interesting. I guess I'll cover this one. Championship Chess, expert software. Honestly, I don't have much to say about this. It was typical Windows 3.1 shovelware, I guess. Play like a champ and stunning 3D graphics. I've never played this one. Again, I picked it up for cheap. But yeah, it looks a bit like Battle Chess, I guess, for DOS or whatever. 11 super theme board chess pieces. Yeah, simple 3D pre-rendered chess game. So I don't know. Picked up the box, brand new, cheap. Honestly, a jewel case inside, and that's about it. It's chess. It's chess. Alright, moving right along to one of my favorite platforms of all time. This is Jazz Jackrabbit 2. Just when I thought Jazz Jackrabbit 1 was a masterpiece, along came Jazz Jackrabbit 2. I originally discovered this game in 2003. I remember when you could borrow games from the library, and this is one of the games my friend borrowed a handful of times, and I watched him play it on numerous occasions, and it's just amazing. The graphics, the fact that it's like more fully zoomed out than the first Jazz Jackrabbit. Epic Mega Games back in the 90s were legends. And yeah, this is no exception. This is like I don't know. It's almost perfect, if not a perfect platformer. But yeah, in the box it comes with a comic, comes with a manual, jewel case. I believe I got this brand new at the time from eBay. There's also a Mac version which I mentioned, which I used to have, and I wholeheartedly regret selling because holy crap, I got an itchy nose. Seems to happen whenever I'm on video. But yeah, I regret getting rid of the Mac version because I bought it for like $60 at the time in the Mac store. Of course, this is the PC release, but I'm happy to have this in my collection nonetheless. Mac version or not, but yeah, I gotta fix my nose. Holy crap! But yeah, moving right along. Next game, developed by Bethesda Softworks, The Terminator Skynet. Is a first-person Terminator game. The one I played back in the day at a friend's house was Terminator Rampage and Terminator Future Shock. So this is kind of like the follow-up to those games. I've already played a little bit of this game. I'm not too much of a fan, but the fact this is Bethesda, in like the early days. It's quite impressive. Uses its own like 3D graphics engine. But yeah, maybe I'll get round to playing it. Maybe I'll have a good sit down one day and fully check it out. But yeah, it seems pretty competent. Looks a lot like System Shock 1, basically, but more action oriented than a typical System Shock experience, I guess. Alright, moving into a guilty pleasure, an underrated classic through my eyes. In Pursuit of Greed, I have some history with this game. So basically, back in 1996, I had a next door neighbor who had all these games, right? He had basically everything. Cool dude, always awesome to go to his house. That's where I found out about Prime Target as well. I remember playing the shareware or demo version of Prime Target to bits. I remember being in. His dad was like a doctor, and I remember being on one of like the floors of a doctor's building, and he had like I guess he had like a USB stick at the time, but yeah, we could like download anything to like a USB or a CDRW and take it with us. Prime Target was one of the games, but nonetheless, back to In Pursuit of Greed, 1996, developed by Mindshare. This is a Doom clone, I guess, of many Doom clones of the 90s. But yeah, this one is really cool. I remember playing the demo at this next door neighbor's house, or this neighbor's house rather, and I loved it. Very unique, very weird. You're a bounty hunter, and it's typically like Doom, the arena sort of looter shooter. You gotta collect points, enough points, and a goal item in order to finish a map. In sorts. I've streamed this once. I was gonna say a couple of times, but I also did a playthrough offline, so basically I beat it on stream. There were no other playthroughs on YouTube, so I'm sort of honored to have like a first playthrough on YouTube. But yeah, no, very cool game. Again, level design is all over the place, as all these 90s games are. To sort of like, to sort of draw out the duration of the game. That's what a lot of 90s games did. With their mazy level design. That was gameplay back in the day. But you can select from a bunch of characters to players. They essentially play the same. My favorite is Mooman. You can also play as this dominatrix chick. But yeah, she essentially plays the same as Mooman, Cyborg, and Lizard Man. So yeah, 4 characters you can choose from. In Pursuit of Greed, underrated classic, got pretty much buried and oversaturated, I guess, with all the Doom likes that came around that time and before it. So yeah, highly recommend it. This is the original box, surprisingly. It does look like one of those limited run releases, just because of the art alone, because there's no company logos on the bottom or anything. But yeah, it's cool. I'm happy to have finished it. There was never a sequel because, spoiler alert, when you beat it, it says to be continued, but we got nothing. We got nothing. Anyway, moving right along. Speaking of day and age classics, Wolfenstein 3D, I have the original box here, developed by id Software. This was the grandfather, and typically pioneered the genre. I mean, Doom did it, but this is where it all started. When I first laid my eyes on this game as a kid, I immediately fell in love. And funnily enough, I played Spear of Destiny first. Like, my nana on her computer had like a shareware version of this one, Spear of Destiny, which is essentially the expansion of Wolfenstein 3D. But yeah, funnily enough, I played Wolfenstein much later, so Spear of Destiny was like my introduction. If you don't know about Wolfenstein 3D, it's a Nazi killer. You essentially got to escape a castle and yeah, just run and gun. Go into room after room, find keys, open doors. I mean, it's like a simplified Doom, these games. So yeah, fun to own. And a follow-up to Wolfenstein 3D, 1995 or 1994, I think this game came out. Rise of the Triad. Was gonna be Wolfenstein Part 2, but Apogee wanted to make it its own thing. Insane game. Got a remaster. You can definitely see the roots of Wolfenstein 3D through this game, with like the Triad guards you take out. They're literally Nazi guards, but like, yeah, this game is insane. You get missile weapons. You start with a pistol. You get like a baseball bat. You can turn into a dog. There's like jump pads. Insane set of levels. Multiplayer modes. Level editor. Yeah, very cool game. Love the box art. Nice shiny title there. Just like, I guess, the Spear of Destiny box. But yeah, there's traps as well. You can play as like 5 characters. And fun fact about this game, this is the first game to get like the highest rating of violence back then. And also the first game to introduce playable male and female characters. So the first game to the first game you could play as like multi-gendered class characters. And they also have like their own stats like speed and toughness. I also have the US Gold release. This is the European release. As you can see at the back of the box, it is multi-region, multi-language. So it's kind of cool to have. There's the CD release. This is the floppy disk release. I believe there's like 5 floppy disks, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, Rise of the Triad, highly recommend this game. If you love Wolfenstein 3D, this is Wolfenstein 3D on crack, basically. Anyway, I'll pop these back and we shall continue with more Wolfenstein 3D goodness. But yeah, one more thing to say about Rise of the Triad is it used a super modified version of Wolfenstein 3D. The fact that you could lock up and down, and the introduction of traps, jump pads, and gravitational anomaly discs they used for like stairs. Just like in Doom, how they used like fake 3D and stairs, but essentially the maps in Doom were like just one plane of level. So there wasn't really multi levels in the Wolfenstein and Doom engine. It was just sort of an illusion, but it was done so good. But yeah, the next game I have here using the Wolfenstein technology is Blakestone Aliens of Gold. There's a first-person shooter where you play as Blakestone, main hero. You gotta stop a doctor called Goldfire, and you go through a lab and you shoot stuff. And it's pretty sick. There are like turrets, there are soldiers, there are mutants coming out of like containers and eggs and stuff. I played this at like a family friend's house and I loved it. I've also streamed this one as well, and Rise of the Triad. Train of thought. The levels get quite mazy, but like I feel like the visuals and the gunplay keep you in the loop. So it's pretty cool. And very, very satisfying just mowing down things. Follow up, we had like I guess an expansion. These days you would call it a DLC. This is Blakestone Planet Strike. Essentially the same games, but the sort of like features new weapons, new textures / visuals. But essentially the same game, just more of it. It is shorter than the base game. But yeah, sometimes shorter is better. Because Blakestone Aliens of Gold goes on for a little too long. Just a little bit, as you get into like the later episodes. Alright, next game. System Shock 2. Unfortunately, I don't own the original System Shock. Developed by Looking Glass Studios. This is a first-person horror RPG with an insane plot about a corrupt AI called Shodan, published by Electronic Arts. But yeah, it is really cool. A lot happening on screen. You got like an inventory, and you're just trying to stop this this corrupt AI on the cover here. A ship that's falling apart, and there are mutants. There are different classes you can learn, like a hacker. You can learn like a weapon class as well. I've only played a little bit of it. I think I got like near the end, but like it sort of suffers the Fallout syndrome with me. I'm not really a big Fallout guy, and the reason I mention Fallout alongside this game is I end up running out of resources, like such as health or ammunition. That's the main problem I run into with these types of games. I get overwhelmed with like the item management and like the RPG elements essentially. So I end up hitting like a roadblock with these games, if you will. So yeah, System Shock 2, I highly recommend it still. It's still a fantastic game. Alright. What are we gonna start with here? Next shelf. Still got a whole row of games to go. Welcome to the Future. I can't exactly remember where I picked this up. But yeah, the most incredible alternate reality adventure ever. BSE. Very weird looking Myst-like game here. The incredible quest of discovery, art and music. I guess the game is played out by like 3D pre-rendered graphics and symbols, as you can see on your HUD. Judging by the screenshots here, but yeah. Very weird game. Looks like it uses multimedia QuickTime technology. But yeah, definitely gotta check this one out at some point. It sort of opens like a book and comes with a jewel case and some kind of like some kind of reference piece of paper here. I think it's like a clue of how to play the game essentially. But yeah. The travelers roam through infinite time, recording their presence in symbols and rhyme. A message was left for those following to find enlightenment. Enlightenment comes by seeking the signs. So I guess the signs are like a core element of the gameplay. But I'm intrigued. I'll open the jewel case here. Yeah, Mac. As you can see, I'll have to try it one day. This is definitely the biggest anomaly of my gaming collection. So yeah. We'll pop this back, and we're gonna move on to more Raven Software GT Interactive goodness with Mage Slayer. This is typically a top-down Heretic. Top-down Heretic 1. You can pick as pick like 4 different classes. There's like a warlock, there's a dwarf, and there's like a beast you can play. I have streamed this. Pretty fun game. It's like, yeah, it's more top down than isometric. Though, yeah, it's very distinctly more top down than isometric. I've played I've played a mix of isometric and top-down games, but yeah, it's easy to sort of pinpoint a perspective once you get it down. But yeah, the title was nice and embossed, nice bump mapped, malevolent 3D fantasy quest from the creators of Hexen and Hexen 2. So yeah, basically a top-down heretic, more than Hexen, but it does have puzzle elements. It has like traps, and it has a multiplayer mode. But yeah, different spells as well. Of course, it has that Raven logo, seal of approval there. But yeah, amazing game. 1997, this one. And also in 1997, developed by Raven, also Take No Prisoners. This is yet another top-down shooter, but more of a, like, less medieval top-down shooter. This is more of a, like, suburban, post-apocalyptic, sort of shooter, published by Red Orb Entertainment. But yeah, top-down, violent, I guess, splatterfest, a lot like Mage Slayer, had a lot of gore as well. You shoot someone, like, just sprays of blood come out of them. But yeah, I've streamed this a couple of times. Very mazy. You can do your objectives any way you want, out of order. But yeah, it's cool. You play as like a mercenary, and there's like this corrupt city, I guess. But yeah, very weird. You're inside this city, essentially trapped in a dome. And you gotta like blow up the dome and escape the city. It's very unique. Again, the box is nice and embossed. Very very cool design, very sleek. But yeah, cool game. This is more like top-down / isometric. As opposed to Mage Slayer being directly like top-down. But yeah, as you can see, it does say top-down 3D action from the creators of Hexen. But yeah, Take No Prisoners, highly recommend it. This box can get quite expensive. But yeah, if you see a copy, definitely pick it up. It's pretty cool, pretty amazing. And moving right along, let me grab this trilogy here. We have Quake. This is the Macintosh version. Again with higher resolutions. Quake was like the shift to 3D from Doom, I guess. I remember playing this back in the day, and I didn't get the hype. But the more I saw this game round, the more I appreciate it. Yes, it's brown. Yes, it's kind of ugly looking visually as well, but you gotta understand this is like the first of its kind in terms of like 3D graphics and acceleration for like the computer. And of course we got GL Quake, which made it look even nicer. This recently got a remaster as well from Night Dive, so that is much appreciated. You can basically pick these games up digitally, but it is nice to own the box here. I played this to bits back in the day. Not when it like originally released, but I just played it throughout like the early 2000s, and I loved it. I loved it, especially the first episode. It's just like Doom. I played like the first episode of Doom like thousands of times. But yeah, it's nice. It's gothic horror shooter, I guess, or like action horror shooter with action shooter with horror elements. But they doubled down and they released Quake 2. 1996. But yes, I've shown a couple of other Quake 2 engine games. This was the OG. I just love this one. I just love this Quake game. This one is amazing. It has objectives this time. It's a Quake game with objectives. I will show Quake 4 here in a little bit. But yeah, the Quake 2 engine is amazing, although looks a little weird with like the wobbly sort of physics to hold like the wireframe weapons and character and enemy models together. But yeah, this is cool, perfect. It's like a perfect sci-fi shooter with objectives, quick load times for each like area transition, awesome mutations. Although like Quake had its range of of like grunts and stuff. Typical soldiers and ogres. This one goes all out with like the Strogg. The Strogg is the name of like the race, and they're using humans. So they're like deformed. They're like deformed metal and flesh basically. There are some screenshots, but yeah, you can get like just like Quake 1, shotgun, grenade launcher, rocket launcher, hyper blaster, BFG. BFG makes its return in the Quake series as well. Yeah, big fucking gun, 9000. Blows a lot of guns out of the water. And to follow up Quake 2, we got Quake 3 Arena. Multiplayer shooter. I mean, I guess they had to go the arena route because prior we had like Unreal Tournament 1999. I'll see if I can find it here real quick. But I do have the jewel case of Unreal Tournament. This is the Mac release. But yeah, this was like I guess the Quake 3 Arena like competition at the time using the Unreal Engine. But yeah, I originally played Game of the Year edition of Unreal. But yeah, I kind of like both of these games, and I am happy to finally own a box copy of Quake 3 Arena using the Quake 3 engine. So this was kind of like, this was sort of the the step up of the Quake 3, the Quake 2 engine, obviously. And Unreal, a bunch of games will be developed under the Unreal Engine. And look where Unreal is today in terms of engine. We're at like Unreal Engine 5 or 6 now. It's insane. But yeah, very cool, fast-paced arena shooter. I honestly don't know which one to prefer, but I originally grew up with Unreal Tournament in high school, and then later played this one, but I don't know. I think I prefer Quake 3 Arena. But definitely let me know which one you guys prefer. Alright. Driver. You are the wheelman. I haven't really played much of this game, but it is a cool driving action sim nonetheless. I barely scratched the surface of the tutorial because of what the tutorial tries to teach you. It's kind of hard to it was kind of hard to find my feet with this one, but visually looks really cool. Published by Infogrames. There's the Mac version. I can't remember where I actually got this box from. I think it was from my local buy and sell site though. But yeah, Driver. A lot of people have fond memories of this. I believe there are like 3 games or like 4 games. San Francisco was like the 4th one. But yeah, I'm happy to own this one nonetheless. It's got cool box art. Looks a bit like Carmageddon, but less gory, I guess. Next game, a point and click, which I'm not the biggest fan of. This is Terry Pratchett's Discworld. This is probably the most cryptic point and click series I've tried. Amazing pixel art. Interesting style of humor. What's funny about this box is I got it for free. It says CD-ROM here, but this is the floppy disk version. I won't open up the box, but it's weird. It's weird how it says CD-ROM. But maybe the CD was just like was taken out and switched with the floppy disk, or it came with the CD and the floppy disk, and the floppy disk was like the backup game. But yeah, there's Discworld 1 and 2. I never really got into them, honestly, because point and click and generally for point and clicks back then you need to use moon logic and galaxy brain abilities to like solve the puzzles basically. So I don't know, interesting game to say the least, but and cool to own the box, but not really my type of genre. Alright, next up, we got a series that I'm not terribly fond of, but kind of cool to own the boxes. This is Fallout. Post-nuclear role-playing game, in association with Interplay. This is a isometric / top-down RPG I guess, story-driven shooter. Also you can work on your stats as well and do different go on different quests. I actually forgotten this box is gatefolded, but yeah. A lot of people loved this back in the day. Fallout has come a long way since this one. But yeah, pretty crazy series. A lot of character dialogue and interaction and choices. My box is falling apart a little bit here, but yeah, cool to own. I honestly picked these up because A, they were cheap, and B, the boxes are pretty damn cool. There's like a kind of rusted sort of case you're holding. And I have Fallout 2 as well. I am lucky I picked this one up for cheap. I've played a little bit of this one as well. Definitely a visual upgrade from the first game. But yeah. Again, Black Isle Studios Interplay. It's essentially Fallout, but more Fallout, I guess. The thing with this box is it's incredibly rare. It comes with the journal, jewel case, CD, reference cards, etc. But I picked this up for relatively cheap, and I was pretty shocked to see prices online. It's sort of a series that's pretty sought after in terms of physical copies and collector standards. But yeah, cool games. Fallout 1 and 2 from what I've played. But again, a lot like point and click games, not my type of genre. Alright, let's move on here with another Bat game called, let me sit up in my chair here, Super Maze Wars. This originally came bundled with Macintoshes back in the day. The networkable 3D maze battle game, excuse me, developed by Calypso. Very, very simple. I guess it was like one of its kind back then. Polygonal sort of shooter, if I can get it zoomed there. Taking place in a first person perspective. You got your radar, you got your players. You got like different ammo types as well. But yeah, I used to play this game to death. Not networked, but against bots, because you could max out bots in like an arena, I guess, and the goal of the game is to destroy everyone in the level, and you can also pick up ammo items in a level as well. What's funny about this is Prime Target and Damage Incorporated also came bundled with Max back in the day. So, not only were those games commercial at one point, they also came free with entire Macs if you were lucky. But yeah, this game came on floppy disk, and it's cool. Every Mac I remember owning back in the day, I made sure I had this game installed. Yeah, pretty cool. Basic fun. Basic fun. Go round exploding ships. Also, the original artwork is very Mac. Very interesting, very original. Alright. Next game, Rise of the Robots. This is a robot beat 'em up for DOS. Apparently it was a big deal at the time. Boasted a soundtrack, its 3D pre-rendered graphics, lethal engineering, merciless combat. It is basic. It is not a great game, but I mean, it exists. I believe this is the CD version. Also came on floppy is the manual and the jewel case. Only played a little bit of this, but I have watched people like stream it. Also came out on the Super Nintendo and DOS. Actually, this is the PC version, so this would be the DOS release. But also came out on Super Nintendo, essentially the same game. But yeah, the fights get harder, obviously, but the last boss, which is in the bottom right-hand corner there, looks kind of impossible to fight, honestly. But yeah, Rise of the Robots, one-on-one fighter, pre-rendered 3D graphics. It tried, for sure. Alright, next game, sort of funny about this one. Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos. This is my original copy. Funny story about this. I was a big fan of Warcraft 2. And I thought I was going to continue the trend of loving Warcraft. And like, you know, seeing it adapt to 3D and stuff. I thought I was gonna continue the trend of loving it, but I wasn't a big fan when it made this like transfer to 3D. I feel like I was a little overwhelmed when this came out. Again, I'm still like in the realm of retro games, and I feel like this kind of killed my Warcraft experience, I guess. I also grew up with Warcraft Orcs and Humans as well, which is Warcraft 1. But yeah, I feel like Warcraft 1 and 2 hold a special place to me as opposed to this one, but apparently this was really popular, and you know, World of Warcraft came along, so I mean, good on you, Blizzard. They've come a long way, but I think I have the original CD in here. Yeah, I have the original CD still. I've got like I I got like the chunky manual. Look at that. That's crazy. Not as thick as the not as thick as the SimCity 2000 manual, but it's up there, or slash strategy guide. But yeah, Warcraft 2. I mean, there was also Diablo, Warcraft 3. Sorry, there was also like the Diablo series that I never really got into either. But they didn't really have the same treatment as Warcraft series. They were sort of different in that regard. But anyway, it's still cool to own my original copy of Warcraft 3. I've held on to it. Alright, getting into the weird games here. Sensory Overload. There's a lot to unpack here. The most realistic action game for the Mac. This is a point-and-click first-person shooter developed by Reality Bytes. This is a game I wish I owned back in the day. It's very Mac. It's in terms of the graphics and like the interface. As you can see in the screenshots, I have streamed this. It is mazy. It is cryptic, but at the same time, it's almost captivating how weird this game is and what it tried to do with like the point and click interface, because you can like activate switches and stuff with your mouse, like light switches. There are characters you can talk to. Of course, you shoot dudes. You find way too many key cards to unlock doors. It's even more excessive than Blood in that regard. The amount of key cards you find in this game are almost staggering. But yeah, sensory overload. I may as well show you the contents of the box. The box is a little moldy, but yeah, you have your installation discs. Important notice to user: read your software license agreement carefully before opening this packet. You pop it open. Comes on 3 floppy disks, which is cool. They have has the sensory overload writing. Pop these back in. Has a reference card, accelerated for the Power Macintosh. The most realistic action game for the Mac. But yeah, you got a brief reference card. Well, that's basically what a reference card is. It's brief. You got the reference card with the story. You got controls. You got the gameplay like interface, highlighting everything. You got items. You got your diary entries as well. It has sort of light RPG elements, I guess. But yeah, let me get a good shot of the reference card there. Make sure it's like focused and everything. But yeah, very bizarre game. You got hints at the back there as well. The hints are kind of funny. You don't need to kill anything to advance in the game. Often you're much better off being elusive rather than picking a fight. that is a lie. It is probably best to kill the majority of stuff in this game because enemies will just follow you relentlessly. The other things in the box are, hey, you should set yourself apart from the pirates. Enjoy the benefits of becoming a registered owner of sensory overload. Back in the days of don't copy that floppy and anti-piracy ads across the board. Of course, one of these games wouldn't come without a read this first, a physical read me on a piece of paper. But yeah, that's about all. That's in the sensory overload box here. Cool game, but I can't recommend it. It is an oddity. It is an anomaly. It is a weird breed. A weird breed of cardboard and media. And speaking of weird breeds of cardboard and electronic entertainment media, we have The Fortress of Dr. Radiarchy, developed by Maelstrom and Future Vision. Published by Merit Software. This game released incomplete. Came out in 1994, but you can beat this game. It is very much in the same vein of sensory overload in terms of weirdness and level design. The fact that it's very mazy, it can be quite hard to find keys and typically navigate the levels, but this game has a really original, funny sense of humor. There are big plans for this game that I can't really talk much about in the future, but it's definitely gonna get an update, and yeah, it deserves it. The Fortress of Dr. Radiarchy. I grew up playing this game on and off over the years, but I never really got into it until very recently, and I'm happy to own a box, even though, or physical box, even though it's pretty beaten up. This copy, but yeah, the blurb: you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll kill everything that moves. It's the kind of special happiness you'll find in the Fortress of Dr. Radiarchy. But yeah, very charming, silly game. Came out amongst all the Doom clones, basically. Worth checking out. You can pick this up on the Zoom platform, zoomplatform.com. So, yeah, a lot of these games are available digitally, but yeah, Dr. Radiarchy is one of the many. All right, next game. Published by GT Interactive, Chasm the Rift. Superb 3D graphics and gameplay, a 3D shooter on the cutting edge. This is I guess a European Quake clone. came out around the same time as Quake. Well, 1996 kind of got pushed under the rug, but uses its own engine and everything. I guess you could describe it as a claustrophobic version of Quake. Would be a way to sort of minimize it. Or not really minimize it, to kind of put it in its own sort of give it its own sort of context. But the game definitely has style. It's original. In its on its own like terms and format. It's got a nice embossed box. Really love the gatefold art here. That's like all the main enemies of the game, basically. You got your foot soldiers, executioners. You got a bazooka, rocket launcher, foot soldier. Go through medieval castles. Very gritty. There's gestures as well. You start with like a rifle, then you immediately pick up a double-barreled shotgun, machine gun. The usual FPS weapon roster. But yeah, Chasm the Rift, again, recently got a remaster. I believe from a Night Dive. Yet again, they're resurrecting like all the classics, basically. But yeah, worth a look. Chasm the Rift. Alright, moving on to a couple of weird sort of RTS games, I guess. Dominant Species, developed by Redstorm. I don't know about this game, but I picked it up for cheap. It does seem pretty cool. I guess you control like a bunch of creatures, and you gotta manage them to some degree, and you like attack. Who rules your world? I guess it's a bit like Black and White. How you're like a god of like organisms or like a creature. But yeah, I picked it up for cheap, and the cover art is pretty amazing. Very very 80s, very like very Godzilla, Attack of the Monster kind of things. Kind of aesthetic. But yeah, top down 3D sort of deal. What year did this come out? 1998. So yeah, it probably used like early 3D kind of effects. All right. Next game. I believe this is like the second of like a series. This is Warwind 2. Human Onslaught. This game looks really cool. Sort of a top-down strategy simulator. But yeah, I'm not sure if I can get a proper focus on the screenshots here, but really sort of very colorful. Very colorful, like top-down graphics. I can't really get a full focus, but maybe if I held it side on. But yeah, strategy, RPG elements. I mean, you see the Strategic Simulations logo right there, so you sort of know what you're getting yourself into. There's more of a focus on the screenshots there, but yeah, new alliances. Whirlwind 2, Human Onslaught. Again, I picked it up along with Dominant Species. So, yeah, I think in the same day. Alright, next game. Developed by Reality Bites. So, these games, same developer. Sensory Overload. This is Dark Vengeance, third person, came out in 1998, I believe, a lot of 1998 games. Third person, hack and slash, pick between like 3 classes who have like different abilities, start in a different location for each character, but essentially the gameplay loop is the same. I did quite a long stream of this game. I completed it a couple of times. I played as like the Necromancer, but then I like switched characters. To like, I can't remember what she's called. She's like a paladin, I guess. But yeah, Necromancer, Paladin, and Warrior you can play as. Pretty cool. This is the Mac version. It's basically the same as the PC port. Just sort of when it first came out for the Mac, it sort of pushed the 3D hardware limitations at the time. So it was a good benchmark for like the iMac, for example. Anyway, Dark Vengeance, very common game, but yeah, pretty fun nonetheless. I think it uses the Unreal Engine. Then again, I could be wrong. It seems like it uses its own. Also, it's embossed as well. Alright, next game. This is a pretty awesome, highly original, quirky claymation point-and-click adventure game, as you can see there. The blurb. Embark on a clay adventure that breaks the mold. Ha ha ha. But yeah, I played this at my next door neighbor's place, the same neighbor in which I found out about Prime Target and In Pursuit of Greed. He had this installed on his computer. Very cool, original, thousands of frames of animation, claymation, point-and-click game with puzzles and characters. Pretty tough game. I haven't actually played through it, but I think I've watched someone play through it. I think it was my neighbor or something, but definitely gotta get round to actually sitting down and playing it at some point. But very cool. Basically, you got a hub world. So the hub world, you move around in first person, but as soon as you enter a building, it goes to like a third-person perspective, and it's generally something in the room or something in the environment you need to do in order to progress the narrative, I guess. But yeah, no, pretty cool game. Shame about the big sticker mark there. Watermark, whatever you want to call it. Big old Microsoft sticker slapped on the front there. But I like meticulously peeled it off, but I got like some box sort of rip-offs there. But that's all good. I'm happy to own a copy of this. I picked it up before like COVID and inflation, so it wasn't too cheap, wasn't too expensive in price. It was pricey, but not as pricey as it would be now. This is worth like $400 or something, so I'm happy to have picked it up when I did. Neverhood, amazing game. Alright, next game. Vigilance. Vigilance. I only found out about this game, or like discovered this game, a couple of years ago. There's a third-person shooter where you play as different operatives, different classes, different weapons. The odds on GoldenEye Killer for PC. 3D action assault on world terrorism. It is from 1998. I think, yeah, so many games from 1998. Semi underrated, if not a little crappy. I don't know. The environments are cool, but mazy and sort of cryptic. I'm using that a lot in this video, and goddamn, we're almost 2 hours in. I feel like I've covered a lot though. Anyway, like, yeah, mazy, cryptic, but like the visuals are appealing. It's got that kind of, you know, late 90s 3D effects style to it. But yeah, if you look at the bottom of the box here, Sega Soft, you can see the 3D effects logo. So I guess it was a lot of games back then boasted that. But yeah, I can't help but like touching the box due to like embossed and how shiny and how like buy me some of these games gave off, you know, the sort of vibes. But yeah, Vigilance, I've streamed this once. I believe I'm the first one to have played through this game on YouTube at least. There is footage, there is living proof. But yeah, just like in Pursuit of Greed, another playthrough on YouTube has been added. I may get round to streaming this again, but I don't know. It's a weird one. It is kind of tough to get back into once you've had a break from it for a while. Alright, next up we've got Dungeon Master 2, Legend of Skullkeep for the Macintosh. I believe this came out on DOS as well. Epic role-playing game, the most realistic and intelligent dungeon world ever. Published by MacPlay. This Mac version I grew up with and is unique because it has higher visual fidelity than the DOS version. The artwork's been completely redrawn just looks a lot nicer. Basically, this is a typical, like, dungeon crawler. You control, like, a party of, like, different wizards and warriors and stuff like that. Developed by FTL. I don't know if you can see that logo there. It is right there. But, yeah. Very cool game, especially the Mac release here. What's cool about these Mac Play releases is they have this kind of sliding out the cardboard insert, and yeah, you got your typical manual and jewel case here, and a nice sort of yellow tinge to the CD. I have not finished this, but I've come close to beating it. But yeah, it's probably one of the very few dungeon crawler type games I really got into. I really got invested with this one. So yeah, definitely check it out. I mean, if you have the nostalgia for the DOS version, I guess that's fine as well, but yeah, the game becomes quite difficult. But yeah, Dungeon Master 2, 100%. Alright, next up, I've got a few of these Mac Play boxes. Is Frankenstein Through the Eyes of the Monster, an all-new adventure starring Tim Curry. That's right. Tim Curry is the mad scientist of this game, and you are the Frankenstein. And you have to escape. You have to escape his castle, and you have to escape his madness, because Tim Curry's acting in this is amazing. Excuse me. There's a Myst-style point-and-click adventure game. It is one of those macro multimedia games using QuickTime elements. Yeah, point-and-click, highly interactable. You can interact with the majority of the environment. It is quite educational in that regard. Haven't completed the game, though I got pretty far into it. And, it gets pretty freaky, because, or freaky, spooky, whatever, because, Tim Curry chases you throughout this game, and, every screen just about, you get inventory, and you gotta, like, backtrack to places, but every screen just about is, like, puzzles, basically. But, yeah, again, you got, like, the Mac Play box sleeve, and when you open it up, you got the manual and the jewel case, once again. I played... Whoa. Everything's falling out here. I played the demo of this on my Macintosh Descent CD. But yeah, I've always wanted this game retail. Or I've always wanted, like, I always wanted the full version of this game and / a physical box. But yeah, very cool game. Again, very highly interactable environments and puzzles. The puzzles are pretty straightforward. Some of them are a little weird. FMV sequences are pretty amazing as well. Again, Tim Curry is fantastic in this, but yes. Frankenstein Through the Eyes of the Monster, 1995. Alright, I'm gonna grab all three all three of my other Mac Play releases here, so I don't have to keep turning round. But yeah, we have up next is Descent, a 360 3D roller coaster ride that'll leave your head spinning. This is published by Mac Play and developed by Parallax Software. This is pretty much Doom, but in a spaceship. 360 degrees of freedom shooter. Strap in, boot up, and hang on for a ride that will test the limits of your sanity. Basically, you're cast into a mining complex with a whole lot of horrible robots you gotta shoot. Blow up a boss, escape the sector onto the next level. I tried getting into these games. I only own the Descent 1 box here, but I don't really like the mechanic of destroying the boss and then having 30 seconds to get out of like the level that you're in. You're sort of thrust out, I guess, through a time limit. Which adds like a extra layer of tension. I get it, but when you don't know where to go in that countdown like sequence and you lose all your shit for the next level, it's like it happens on like every stage, but yeah, like I said, it's very much like Doom in that regard. First person, but you're in a spaceship. You find key cards, you unlock doors, you shoot stuff, you go around crazy tunnels, you go into like shield generators to recharge your shields. You get all these weapons as well. It's cool to just sort of pick up and play for a bit, but yeah, I have experienced the later levels and they get brutal as hell. 100%. Anyway, let me chuck back Descent here and we'll move on to the next Mac Play product. But before that, I could show you the innards of Descent. So again, got the Mac Play sleeve here. Unpack the box. And you got the manual and jewel case. And then you got just like, I guess, reference cards. Which isn't terribly exciting, like postage and stuff like that. We got the original CD, which I believe comes with the demo of Frankenstein Through the Eyes of the Monster. This is originally where I discovered that game anyway. Very cool game. Very cool CD. It's like one of the health power-ups, which is like a ball of energy. Manual there very briefly. Got your heads-up display and your interface. But yeah, Descent, a classic. And the cool thing about the Mac versions of Descent 1 and 2 is they come with CD audio, not just like Adlib's Sound Blaster, but like actual CD audio. Yeah. Which you could play through your CD player. Anyway, I will put that back on the shelf once again. And our next Mac Play product is Wolfenstein 3D for the Macintosh. The definitive way to play Wolfenstein 3D. Not only does it come with the original 30 awesome levels, as it says on the box there. It's also a visual upgrade from the DOS version. Even though the enemy sprites in this version are one-sided, they will only face towards you. The rest of this version is updated textures and weapons and HUD. It is quite impressive. And in the box, I have the Mac CD version and the Macintosh floppy disk version. Came on 2 floppy disks. But yeah, I'll try and get a shot of the screenshots here on the back of the box. But yeah, I was blown away when I first played this back on like a Mac shareware compilation disc. Very cool. I may as well pop the box open for you dudes and show you the contents. This box originally came with the CD version. I've had the floppy disks for this game for some time. But yeah, I have the floppy disk wrapped in a black plastic bag, or black plastic. But yeah, 2 floppy disks. I don't know if you can really see it, but yeah, there's a second one there. The floppy disks sort of look the same. Install disk 1. Got the nice font there. And the CD. CD version is a nice yellow. Mac Play, id, accelerated for Power Macintosh. You've also got postage card and the instruction manual, which I thought for some reason was in color, but it's in black and white. But that sort of gives you a glimpse of what the Mac version looks like. As you can see, it looks a lot more crisp. Just think of that button color, I guess. And back of the manual, you just got Mac Play. Nice purple color at the back. But yeah, let me chuck the reference card back in. And the game itself. But yeah, highly recommend the Macintosh version of this game. You can pick the majority of these old Mac games up from the Macintosh Garden. Macintosh Garden Abandonware website. Pretty cool. If you didn't grow up with Mac and missed out on all the classics, but yeah, there's a better scope of the screenshots there. Alright, moving on. Wolfenstein 3D Mac Play. Next, also Mac Play oriented, we have Power Pete. High-powered action rescue in a toy store gone mad. There's a isometric shooter, Gravis gamepad, discount inside. Just like Jazz Jack Rabbit 1, highly recommended you play this with a gamepad, but arrow keys is fine. But I have streamed this once, as well as Wolfenstein 3D, blast away evil toys with an arsenal of comical weapons in this maniacal toy store. Yeah, as you can see, sort of isometric top-down view. You play as this like toy commando dude, and your objective is to rescue bunny rabbits. Eat my dust. But yeah, the goal, developed by Pangea Software, by the way, who we'll get to in a bit. The goal is to rescue all the rabbits in each level and Pete, or Mighty Mike was the alternate name for this character slash game. Will you'll automatically transport out of the level. But yeah, fun game. Gets harder as you go along. There are puzzle elements in terms of like I guess maze puzzles and switch puzzles. But yeah, has a bit of a gauntlet vibe to it as well in terms of like the enemy numbers and stuff. But yeah, again, we got the Mac Play sleeve, and I'll show you what's in the box. We got the official action figure survival guide. We got the backbone of the manual there. It's pretty cool. We got a bunny rabbit with the Mac Play logo. Jewel case, which is nicely composed there. And you got the CD of Power Pete. Nice blue color. Can't really focus it in this lighting, but it's kind of cool. And I guess this is just the front. There's no real, just credits on the inside of the jewel case. We got a black and white manual. See if I can show you any kind of in-game action here, but yeah, black and white. Friendly tips. You got like different weapons, and there's the enemies as well, evil clowns. There's like cavemen as well. Here's a slip to like the Gravis gamepad, as from the front of the box. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. But yeah, you can get a discount. Get a discount for the joystick there. Alright, that was Power Pete, and we're almost 2 hours in. Well, over 2 hours into the video. Talk. That's probably causing all my my yawning and my sneezing here. Alright, next. We are minimizing down on the boxes here, but next game. Revenge is best served on the net with Shadow Wraith. This is a top-down spaceship shooter. The advisory warning says damage to realistic objects in the bottom left-hand corner there. Developed by Starplay. Very cool game. Top-down, very intense arcade spaceship shooter. There was also a follow-up game. This came out in 1995. But 1997, there was a sequel called Souls in the System, which was essentially the same game, just a visual upgrade. More levels. I played this back in the day. Let me just turn the box the right way here. But yeah, the box is very common to collect. Very cool. I highly recommend it. A lot of stages. I tried streaming it, but the emulator crashed. When I got quite further in the game. But yeah, you got your CD slip here, Starplay. Terminal Sunset, the developer. And you got your manual, your player guide. And at the back there's like a serial number, so I won't show the back of the box. But yeah, StarPlays, Terminal Reality, Shadow Wraith. I'm gonna sneeze again. Okay. May as well do some break from the boxes and some rapid fire DVD cases here. This is Alien vs. Predator. Published by MacPlay. This is the second Alien vs. Predator game. Everyone's underrated favorite. But yeah, I've only played a bit of the two games. Alien vs. Predator Gold, I guess, from the year 2000, and this one. Well, covering up the serial number, you have the CDs, and you have a cool looking manual, which is essentially just like the front cover. But yeah, I remember seeing this in the Mac store all the time. Of course, this is the Mac version, MacPlay. Always wanted this one. Pretty sick. I might get round to playing it someday, but yeah. One of the mini games. And speaking of one of the mini games, I have Soldier of Fortune 2. This is the PC version. Ultra violent. Realistic PC game. I remember people talking about this series and being like, oh, it's so violent, and looking at the box, they didn't really express that at the back, but yeah, due to like the 18 plus parental guidance logo, you can definitely tell. Violent, explosive, sophisticated, thrilling. Yep, tactical shooter. Came on 2 CDs here. I wonder if I can show it off. There we go, and the manual as well. The binder does have a 3 there. You can't really see it, but yeah, I trust it came on just 2 discs. But yeah, manual, reference card, Soldier of Fortune 2 Double Helix. Though I do prefer the first game more than this one. Worth collecting though. Bizarre game I picked up. I believe it was like $5-10. The Race to Gallamax, arcade action, pocket price title, PC CD-ROM. Windows 95 and 98. Looks like a third person. Realistic racing ship shooter. Third person on 3D racing style shoot 'em up. 21 levels, 7 unique worlds. Heart thumping digital soundtracks to keep your spirits high. Specialized enemies on each level that you have to outthink to stay alive. So I was reading that through the viewfinder, but yeah. As you can tell by the CD, very basic. Very basic budget bargain bin. I mean, it's popper price? Pocket price. What more can I say? Full version. Woo! Anyway, moving on. There's a couple of other ones here. I guess action, arcade, sports, 101 games, compilation, fast-paced and action-packed. Just a bunch of games I haven't tried. early 2000s, late 2000s had these packs. And, had these game packs with like all these eye-catching games which weren't very good. Again, just a cheap budget compilation of games. Immediately when I open the case, the CD just flies out, but you got installation manual and the CD itself. Nodtronics. But yeah, you'll see these compilations about, and why not? Just worth having in a collection, just for novelty standards. The last game I have here in a DVD case, at least, is Full Throttle point and click, developed by LucasArts, a heavy metal adventure by Tim Schafer. Very cool visual point and click game here. Again, not my genre, but I have gone into a few point and click games over the years, but this is definitely one of them. I've always wanted to own this in big box, but whenever I see it, it comes out as pretty expensive. So, yeah, we've just got a CD in this case. I think I picked this up for like $20, but it's nice to own Full Throttle in some shape or form nonetheless. Alright, so those are my DVD case games: Alien vs Predator 2, Soldier of Fortune 2, Double Helix, The Road to Gallamax, 101 action, arcade, and sports games, and Full Throttle. But yeah, nice to have kept them over the years. Alright. Let's dig into a series that I feel like people love to hate. They are point and click, HR Giga inspired, and that is none other than Darkseid. This is a very gritty, surreal point and click game by the amazing arts of HR Giga. I also have the second Darkseid here, Darkseid 2, which I'll talk about in a minute. These are both the Mac versions, CD-ROM. They're cool. Especially this first one. Especially Darkseid 1, the Macintosh version. Especially and essentially, because like a lot of Macintosh games back in the early to late 90s, I guess, this version is more visually appealing. They updated the art, like upscaled the resolution and everything. The reason I said or mention people have a love-hate relationship, especially with Darkseid 1, especially is this game is time-based. And you gotta go from area to area and location, thread from puzzle to puzzle in like a timely manner, leading into the dark world. So it's hard to take in this game when you're strapped for time. Excuse me. But yeah. Also, another cool thing about this box is you can remove this. You can remove this diamond. And I don't know, I guess you can store notes in here or something. This whole thing opens up. I haven't tried to open it up, but it's kind of a cool feature with these trapezoid design boxes. But moving right along to Darkseid 2. This one is completely different to Darkseid 1, developed by Cyberdreams, both games. Again, the diamond comes out. It is a trapezoid design box as well. But yeah, it is more of a point-and-click adventure game where you can take your time. You can kind of soak in the environments. Again, these environments are very subtle, very dark, got some weird undertones about, like, the characters you associate yourself with and the environments and how the environments make you feel. Also, I brought both of these games brand new when the prices weren't, like, horrendously high. But yeah, no, good games to own, if not a little bit on the cryptic side of things. But what can you do? 90s games, always gonna be an equation there. Alright. A step up from my DVD cases, I guess. I have a bunch of, you know, the mid to late range PC and Mac boxes. When everything came in, like, you know, this mid cardboard box display. This is Doom 3. One of my favorite underrated Doom games. This is first person horror element Doom. It's gotten many releases over the years. People love to hate this game. Probably because it's like a slower, more methodical paced version of Doom. The gateway to hell is open. Indeed. But yeah, very fun game. This is the Mac version. Came on one DVD disc. But yeah, this game was massive when it came out. Because it was developed under, like, you know, idTech's new engine at the time. I believe, yeah, 2004 idTech 3. And following up and chasing that trend of the Doom 3 engine is Quake 4. So I have all 4 Quake games, essentially. This is another underrated game that I really enjoy, and people, again, like Doom 3, have a love-hate relationship for. Prepare for the ultimate war. Another game from the Doom 3 engine I wish I owned is Prey. Prey is another great game. Maybe I'll pick up a DVD case just like this of Prey, and I can have, like, all the main definitive Doom 3 engine games here. But yeah, cool game. Has a really cool, like, strogification sequence. What happens to your player, but I won't spoil too much of it. But yeah, just like Doom 3, both of these games, 1000% underrated. Alright. Probably because they strayed away from, like, the formula of like the original Dooms until we got Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. That's probably the only reason these ones got sort of shafted, but again, I'll chuck the serial number aside. 1 DVD and 1 manual, sir. That reminds me, I've forgotten to show off the Doom 3 manual. I could do that really quickly, but let me put Quake 4 away here real quick. But yeah, like I said, also Raven Software, Quake 4. But essentially, Raven Software's last good game was Singularity, which is another game I'd like to own, but that's for another time. But yeah, maybe, yeah, I'll show you the manual of Doom 3. It's just like that. I originally played Doom 3 on the OG Xbox. It's a pretty good port. Can I show a screenshot on the manual? Maybe not. Not really, but show a brief screenshot of like the weapons. Flashlight, pistol, shotgun, you get machine gun, chain gun, rocket launcher, BFG, and you get a soul cube to like kill the final boss essentially. Right, next game I've got in the trend of medium boxes is 007 Nightfire. Not essentially the best way to play this game on the PC. The GameCube is apparently the best way to play it, but do you have what it takes to be Bond? This is a first-person shooter in the James Bond universe. This is the Mac version here. EA Games. I believe this is my copy from when I, like, got it back in Australia. Then again, I can't remember how I got, like, half these games. I, like, picked them up at stores and stuff. But, yeah, I think the CD is elsewhere. I think it's in one of my CD wallets. Which is buried. Which is buried in storage. Fair enough. But yeah, no, this is... The PC version is more of a fully fledged shooter than, the James Bond experience that, people were expecting, so... But worth checking out nonetheless. 007 Nightfire. It's a pretty high-spec game as well, and definitely needs a remaster. For sure. A game I just picked up out on a whim, I guess, is Spy Fox 2. Some assembly required. My history of this game, though, lies in Spy Fox Dry Cereal. Developed by Humongous Entertainment, they are junior adventures. They're point-and-click games, essentially, for kids. But yeah, I did a big stream of these games. I streamed, like, all the main Spy Fox games. I tried streaming Pajama Sam. I haven't gone to Freddy Fish yet. But, I essentially soft-locked in Pajama Sam. Using ScumVM emulation. I mean, you can pick up bundles of Spy Fox, Freddy Fish, and Pajama Sam on Steam, but, good games. I picked this one up for cheap, so I was like, why not? There's the box. Alright, these next two games are weird. Psychotoxic, recently streamed this. This is German-developed first-person shooter. Go into other people's dreams. Cutscenes are pretty busted, but hopefully this game will get worked on in the very near future. Typical first-person shooter, came out months after Doom 3. Doom 3 absolutely stopped it, but this one is intriguing nonetheless. Whiptail Interactive, shoutouts. K-Hawk Survival Instinct, a game I streamed. If you notice the price tag there, $1.99. I actually brought it for $2 on Gamersgate. Terrible stealth game, super glitchy. I would piss myself if this got a remastered. Do not be seen, do not underestimate the enemy, do not surrender. But yeah, this game is a meme. This game is a meme on my Twitch stream. I beat it. Aside from, like, the last, like, mission of the game. Because the funny thing with this and modern operating systems is explosives in-game crash the entire game. Probably due to some collision boundary detection or whatever, but yeah. Joe Wood Productions, developed by... I'll be able to see it here. I guess, Simless? Developed by Simless. And published by Joe Wood, but yeah. K-Hawk Survival Instinct, another weird kind of anomaly of a game. Alright. What else? What else? Let me chuck all these games back. But we're pretty much done with the box stuff. I could show essentially one more box game off here, which I don't have the CD to. The box is chocked full of its manuals and documentation, though. That is Red Baron 2. Pick this up for super cheap, not knowing the media was in it, or wasn't in it. But yeah, it looks pretty cool for what it is. It is a flight sim featuring old war warbirds, I guess. The planes, what people called them, but yeah. Developed by Dynamics. Published by Saria Entertainment, or Saria Online. What they would be called, like, later on. You know, funny to think they did, like, all the point and clicks. King's Quest, Leisure Suit Larry, Phantasmagoria, Freddy Farkas, like, pharmaceutical. Yeah, bunch of them. And then LucasArts. So it was like sort of a combative point and click era and developers. Alright. So what I want to do now is probably show off in this bag and what I'm holding in my hand are all my loose CDs. And I have a bunch of these. I also have on the floor a bunch of, like, jewel cases as well. So maybe I could just quickly go through these. But yeah, to start off, I have Prince of Persia Collection. I did own the box for this. But, it is long since gone, and of course, Prince of Persia 3D Advertisement. Still gonna play that game. But yeah, nice little sleeve with the CD and, the manual which I drew on back in the day. I was actually gonna give this away to a friend. That's why I said for you. And he's saying, no! But yeah, I'm glad I kept it because it has like the original codes and stuff you got from the manual. I didn't really notice that until now, but I regret giving away the box because now this is the box is hella expensive. I'm like, holy shit, when I see the box online, it's like I jump into action, but not really because yeah, this is all that remains, and I have the manual up in the studio where I have all my storage, so I have a partial remnants of the box here. Yeah, Prince of Persia collection comes with Prince of Persia 1 and 2 and an editor. And some extras on the CD. And once again, the cool thing about Prince of Persia for the Mac is updated visuals. Just upscaled graphics. It looks a lot cleaner. It's a lot nicer looking. Yeah, so highly recommend this version if you can track it down or just get it from the Macintosh Garden / internet, play it in an emulator. Though Prince of Persia 2 is kind of hard to play in an emulator. The first one is more accessible. Prince of Persia 2 has kind of virtual memory issues and stuff. Kind of originates back to original Macintosh hardware, how it's hard to run Prince of Persia 2, but virtual memory on. That's all I can say about that. And not so much a CD sleeve, but more of a case. This is a time lapse. This is my uncle's copy. This is a point and click Myst style adventure game. I'll try and hold the CDs up here. That came on 4 CDs. Orange, yellow, green, and blue. I have my address here. My old address that I wrote in this inner sleeve part. And there's the user manual. But yeah, this is my uncle's original copy. I remember playing this game on his iBook, which I have behind me. It's behind the bookshelf of games, etc. But yeah, it's a first-person point-and-click with puzzles. Very interesting game. I'm glad I still own this. I still own like you know, this whole insert with the CDs. I'll just try and chuck the manual back and slide the CD, the 4th CD back in. But yeah, there's also a box release. This is the Mac version. Also came out on PC. You can buy this on GOG.com, good old games. Yeah, highly recommend it. Developed by GTE Entertainment. Very weird Easter Island puzzly Myst style, like I said. Alright. I have in my hand three mini cardboard sleeves of like CDs, I guess. Loose CDs that I've collected over the years have came like bundled with various Macs, or like Macs I would buy off an auction site and they come with a bunch of games. So starting with the Bungie Mac action site, SAC, which is Bungie's old school bundle of games: Minotaur, Pathways into Darkness, Abuse, Marathon, Marathon 2, and Marathon Infinity. All great games. Pathways into Darkness is another first-person puzzle mazy exclusive game shooter. But yeah, this came in an actual sack, but I only own the CD. But yeah, Abuse is like an Alien style side-scrolling shooter, very cool. And Marathon, like I mentioned at the start of this video, is sci-fi, deep lore, Bungie engine, Marathon engine, first-person shooter. But very cool pack, highly recommend it. Glad I have the CD at least. The sack itself apparently is expensive. And we have... I have to get the... I guess this will do. Entomorph Strategic Simulations, Plague of Darkfall, isometric RPG elements, adventure game. You arrive in like a land of bugs, I guess, and you can pick up inventory items, use spells, talk with many different characters and stuff. The dialogue is hilarious. Played this back in 1996. Visuals are amazing. For the time, very clean visuals. But yeah, highly recommend it. Entomorph. I believe this is like the second game of a series, but this is the one I have. Also, yeah, for Power Macintosh. Crystal Caliburn Pinball, Mac exclusive pinball game, pretty cool. Starplay, same developers as Shadow Wraith that I showed earlier. But yeah, simple. Another game was called another pinball game was called Looney Labyrinth. Though I think Looney Labyrinth was based off that wooden ball game Labyrinth. How you would like tilt a table and you had to go through a maze and the ball will fall like through pockets and stuff. But yeah, Crystal Caliburn Pinball. Can't complain. Yeah, neat little Mac title. Also came out on DOS, but I feel like it's Mac exclusive. Syndicate Electronic Arts is the Mac version. Top-down cyberpunk. Hard as shit. You control a syndicate essentially. 4 cyborgs. You gotta brainwash people. You gotta lure them. You can drive vehicles. Yeah, complete different missions. There's like an objective screen and everything. Played this back in 1996. Pretty cool game. We got over 600 megabytes, Mac compilation CD, different games and applications. Another Bullfrog Electronic Arts game, some theme park. I haven't really touched on these games, but yeah, they got a lot of popularity. Build your own theme park, roller coasters, etc. We got Power Poker. Again, a lot of these games are from just various Macs and bundles. Plates of People too. It's kids, I guess interactive media cutscene game. Illustrated game. Powermonger, another Electronic Arts Bullfrog. You are basically like an emperor. You control a civilization of like slaves and buildings and stuff. Pretty cool. Takes place on a grid. Difficult to master. Spaceship Warlock, first person, FMV, 3D pre-rendered adventure game. Takes place on a floating space station. Looks pretty cool. It was also a Windows 3.1 game, but Looks funny, unique, and original. Mad Dog McCree, first-person FMV arcade shooting game in the Wild West. Yeah, first-person, on rails. Gotta pull the trigger at the right time. Use your mouse. This is the Mac version. I believe it has higher resolution than the DOS counterpart. Simpsons Cartoon Studio. This came from my original box release, which is no longer with us. I believe the box got really damaged. Or I fucked it up as a kid. I wish I kept it. But yeah, you essentially create your own Simpsons episode. This was so cool. So cool. As each of the different characters. Okay, those last other CDs are really nothing. Alright. Oh, shit. Almost 3 hours. We're at like 2:50 and I've just been talking non-stop. Alright, I'll try and rapid fire through the next two, like, mini cardboard sleeves here. Casualty Kid on the Road to First Aid. Extremely rare. First person. I want to say Myst style. Pre-rendered 3D kids interactive educational game. Pretty cool. I've streamed it once. I have not seen this out in the wild. I have no idea this got a box copy as well. It came bundled with a Performer Macintosh. It's the type of machine. It's a type of machine, and yeah, it would come bundled with a bumbling mess, bundled with a bunch of games, and this was one of them. Followed by like Descent and Kid Pix. This is Kid Pix Deluxe. I originally grew up with Kid Pix in black and white, but this was a amazing, respectable upgrade developed by the Learning Company. But yeah, again, a bunch of these CDs came bundled with Macs I've owned over the years, or Macs my dad brought when he needed the upgrade. And of course, you gotta have this in everyone's collection, Myst. The fact that I've been mentioning first person, pre-rendered, 3D, style, Myst. This is the Myst clone of all time. This is the pre-rendered 3D Myst of all time. Infamous. Infamous for walking round. What does the switch do? Where the fuck am I going? What does this puzzle do? Better write down this puzzle. Somehow miraculously make it to the next island. Amazing point and click, first person point and click games, but holy crap, this game riddled a lot of people's minds with puzzle solving, I guess. It helped people get better at puzzle solving. Myst. The original box copy came with like a notebook. You could like list your notes in and stuff. So you could you could write down the puzzles and stuff. So that's pretty cool. That's a nice touch. I would have liked to have done that back in the day, but I didn't get very far. Alright, Beneath a Steel Sky. That's the instruction manual, but the CD's behind it. Point and click. Just like LucasArts and Sierra Adventures. Great dialogue, in-depth story. But yeah, good game. Good game. Only played a little bit of it. I got it for free on GOG.com at some point. When GOG was like first to sight, and like there were only like a couple of pages of games. I can't remember where I got the CD copy from, but again, it probably came in like a bundle of part of a computer. So yeah, awesome point and click and pixel art. Recommend it. Next game, Dragon's Lair, the original. This is like ported from the arcade. Basically you gotta hit the prompts in order to dodge like traps and monsters and stuff, and save your princess, as shown on the front there. Dirk the Daring, packed with spectacular animation and sound from the original arcade version. Yeah, I didn't get very far in this game, but I thought it was pretty cool, novelty-wise, back when I first tried it. Though, when I first played it, I found out I needed a joystick, so, yeah, that was that. Populous 2, world-building game, a bit like, what was that other game? Powermonger? It's the second Populous. Corpse Killer on-rail shooter, originally for the 3DO, very weird, full-motion video shooter. Once again, FMV cutscenes. The OG Unreal, a classic. This is the Maxsoft version. Shooter. Very cool. Pioneered the Unreal Engine to where it is today. Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis comes in this fancy sleeve. Nice stamped CD as well. A LucasArts point and click classic. Another copy of Dragon's Lair, and games for Windows 95, where I first discovered Doom, I discovered Havoc, I discovered Beavis and Butthead Virtual Stupidity, a bunch of other games, Arcade America. The CD was like the GOAT to me growing up, especially for Windows games, essentially for Windows games. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, we got one more CD sleeve, and then we got my jewel cases, and then, holy crap. That is gonna wrap up a very, very, very in-depth, unscripted, completely off the cuff, off the dome piece, my collection rundown video. I hope it turns out okay. Alright, Journeyman Project Turbo. 3D pre-rendered adventure game. Absolutely insane. Story about robots and time travel of the 21st century. I barely touched on the series, but yeah. I picked up the CD somewhere, probably local trade site. But yeah, great condition CD. Cool looking game. Again, early pre-rendered 3D sort of deal. Slob Zone, 3D, first person DOS shooter, go round some kind of neighborhood yard, backyard, and shoot animals, collect fruit, wacky power-ups, all that good stuff, all that typical DOS 90s sort of chaos. Oddbod, Odd Squad, Adventure in Oddbodia, based off the Oddbods cards that only came out in Australia and New Zealand. There's an interactive mini-game / story point and click activity center. Came out in 1997, Glow Zone Interactive. This CD right here, extremely rare. It came as a promotion for Oddbods cards back in the day. So I am stoked to have owned this again because I lost my original copy. Heck, maybe this is my original copy, but considering like the condition of the CD, it is completely unscathed, untouched. I did spit on the CD a little, so it's gotta wipe that off there. Anyway, I'm gonna look after it with my life because I hold this game dearly. This game it's a relic to me. It's a relic. 100%. Alright. So this game's pretty funny. I've received this game countless times in like every bundle, but never played it. F-18 Hornet 2.0. Generic, typical flight sim, a lot like Chuck Yeager's Air Combat. Yeah, but I've owned multiple copies of this game, but I've never tried it. So I'm going to assume it's just a typical flight sim. That's about it. Day of the Tentacle, amazing point and click. Another LucasArts adventure game, very well known. Full Throttle, Sam and Max. But yeah, another point and click. Spy Fox, Operation Ozone, part of the Spy Fox series. Also assembly required in Spy Fox and Dry Cereal. Great, humongous entertainment point and click game. Hellcab, very weird 3D pre-rendered. Not just a game, it's a journey. In a New York cabbie and a time machine. It's so weird. You go into different time periods. Very, very Mac, very Macintosh, very multimedia time frame strangeness, but that's what makes these games unique. Zoombinis, Logical Journey or Logical Journey of the Zoombinis. Interactive, educational, Broderbund style point and click game. Gotta get the Zoombinis through various obstacles. They're little dots, little characters with different cosmetics and aesthetics and stuff. But yeah, Math and Logic, Active Mind series. I grew up with this game, so very nostalgic. Eagle Eye Mysteries, haven't really touched on, but this was a series of games developed by EA Kids. As you can see there, the kids software experts. And we all know where EA went, what direction, but this is one of their many series. This game I used to hire out from the library. I used to borrow from the library. Stowaway. This is a amazing journey discovery through ancient series Century Warship. It is one of those kids' encyclopedia games, basically. You can see the guts of a ship. You can see how stowaways lived. You can get, like, just different perspectives. It's a history lesson of boats. And, yeah, the 18th century, how they grew up and, I guess, just living conditions but this focuses on the boats. Basically, another game Popular around this time was Castle Explorer. But yeah, looking at the CD, this is the Mac release. So yeah, stow away. Alright. What have we got? Alright, orient the CD. Alright, speaking of the devil. Let me sit up here for a second. I've been blabbering for 3 hours now. Chuck Yeager's Air Combat. Just like Hornet 2.0, I've only played a little bit of this. Like, frickin' back in 95, I think. My auntie had this. Yeah, it came out in 93, but this is the Mac version. Looking Glass Technologies. I wonder if it's the same people as System Shock. Though, I think it is, because it's Electronic Arts. Visually, this is appealing. But, again, it's just another flight sim. It's decent. I liked it. Labyrinth of Time, first person, Myst style, point and click adventure game. That's about all I gotta say for the Mac. Alright. Let's pack everything back in. And I'll get to the last of the video here. Okay. Everything back in its place. And I know exactly the first jewel case coverage I'm going to show off here. So let me put these back up there, and let's see. Got this. This is Red Jack, Revenge of the Brethren. It's quite a mouthful. Developed by Cyberflix Entertainment. Swab the decks and get ready for some good old-fashioned pirate action. This is the jewel case version. Comes on 3 CDs. 1, 2, and 3. First-person pirate game. Published by THQ. Very cool game. 3D pre-rendered graphics. The characters / actors of this game are puppets. It uses like a puppet engine to render the characters, so that's kind of interesting to know. Finding out through the credits. This is the Mac and PC version. So basically, you walk around as this dude named Nicholas Dove, and you create friends and enemies along the way. Point and click, you got an inventory and everything. Have sword fights. Bunch of mini games. But yeah, you explore this place called Lizard Point. And it's very cool. It just feels unique. The environments, like, you feel like you could live in this world. It's very very special, I guess. All right, going through my my jewel cases now. We don't have very much more to go. Spy Fox and Dry Cereal. This is the OG Spy Fox game I used to hire out from the library. Along with